The love of my life is life itself. Reality is my twin flame, my divine counterpart. How I come to know Christ. All my life, the world seemed to want me dead, or quiet, or different. So I became dead, quiet, and different. Other. Witness? Well, somebody's got to be taking notes, eh? Everyone can't just participate in the nonsense. So, since I was a child, I saw, I observed. This place is not what it appears to be, eh? Words are confusing. I hear this word love. I don't really see it so much. My nan was the first Jesus that I encountered. For whatever reason, I was shielded from ever seeing even an ounce of my nan's shadow, because she embodied a loving presence. And she would do anything for anybody. And she sacrificed. She was the linchpin of the family. She put everything together. She entertained people and opened up her space. And she died of a brain tumor. Crucified in the name of love. Knew too much. Could not, would not, did not say. That energy is going to have an effect. And so my nan did me the courtesy of dying when I was 18, right on the threshold of something. Gave me carte blanche to investigate hedonism and self-destruction. And I killed myself. I died to my own idea. I shifted my perspective. I polished my ego. I didn't destroy it, because I don't want to be rendered immobile. And I, at one point, said, hold on a minute. What the hell is going on here? And it took me 20 odd years. And I dropped everything. And I walked off on a path of self-discovery. Finding God. On the bottom rung of the ladder. Tower of Babel. Of society. I literally gave everything away to the poor, as it says in the Bible, and journeyed with no plan, no resources, no idea, and a whole lot of fear, which I'd inherited. And I pressed play, and I went on a wonder, and eventually, here I am. I found God in the fallen and forgotten, where no one else was looking. I became the disenchanted, disenfranchised, disillusioned, ignored the great unwashed, the saddest ones, inflicted with the most, put out on display in front of everybody, inconveniently getting in the way of their food shopping, making a mess in the spaces where money changes hands, sleeping in pigeon shit. I discovered my humanity. Makes sense. Society, the cult of image, promises us a false ascension. The thing about ladders is, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So for every ladder, there exists a snake somewhere. And the thing about snakes is they're sneaky, right? So you can't plan for the downfall. Or you can if you intentionally descend. And then the actual ladders will be a lot more substantial. But you're only concerned with going up one rung at a time. And it's not to gain advantage, it's to get a better view, right? I don't want to play any games in this life, but I will. Not to get ahead, to get better, to heal, to have more capacity to give. If I win, then more of us are going to win. Trust that. When I win, I'm winning, right? We have won. Now we're just getting our ducks in order. I overcame death by laughing in the face of it. The fear of death is such a paradoxical, cruel joke that keeps people in stasis, frozen, afraid to live, hating their life, disliking the experience or being alive, wishing death upon their self. There's more than one way to suicide. But the seed of that is just not intentionally living, not doing things to help yourself be and feel alive. And pain, unfortunately or fortunately, is part of the spectrum of aliveness, the duality, pleasure or pain. So if you chase pleasure, you avoid pain until later. If you avoid pain, the pleasure starts to lose its pleasurability. You become numb to pleasure and therefore hyper alert to pain. And the more pain you put off, the more pain is going to come and visit your door, and the package gets bigger every day. And if you don't answer the door, that's fine. You will die in your sleep because pain needs to be addressed. Pain is what kills people. Pain is inflammation. Pain is illness, and illness is pain. What you hold on to, if you hold on to thoughts of love and compassion and tolerance, well, that will proliferate in your body and you will become that. If you hold on to fear, sadness, anger, shame, guilt, blame, come on, we know, the list is long. But if you do that, you will become that. Carl Jung said, when fighting monsters, be careful not to become one. And that's what it means. And it's backwards. You have to forgive yourself first. If you're a victim, you will find more perpetrators. If you want to be a victim, there are more perpetrators out there. Hey, even I could be, potentially, in your eyes. Not intentionally, never. Anybody could. Because if you need the confirmation bias, your reality will provide that for you. Jesus didn't go around saying, oh, what it, all right, I'm going home. Had enough. He didn't have much choice either, but I digress. To love everyone as you love yourself is great. If you actually love yourself, if you can't stand yourself and want to die, then leave your neighbours alone, right? Because if you've got a loving neighbour and you allow them to love you, but you don't receive the love because you're so traumatized and fractured, then you're allowing your neighbour to commit suicide in giving into a vacuous black hole. And sure, there's no such thing as love wasted, but maybe we should be taking more of an invoice and be more responsible with our giving. The difficulty is to not become harsh and callous, cold-hearted because of what they did to me. But you're missing the point. If you get caught in your emotions, if you allow your experiences to cause turbulence in your future, what better middle finger to the devil than to relentlessly smile? Right? Because if you don't care what happens to you, well, that can go two ways, right? Not fatalistic, hedonistic self-sabotage. But what I mean is, if you know that you're not going to be negatively affected by anything that happens to you, then you lose all fear of the future, which seamlessly allows you to walk into the future and create it to your own design, to imagine wonderful things and to leave anticipation for the gap between, for the unknown, like Jesus in the story, in the Bible. He didn't really seem that perturbed, did he? He always knew he was going to, his legacy was to be made into so many tiny idols and bastardized and idolized, gravenly imaged, chased after by sycophants. And let's not forget, this is in the afterlife. He knew that was coming, but in the meantime, he had to go through a 33-year cycle of, well, ultimately leading up to humiliation, betrayal. That was the original Masonic humiliation ritual. That's why it was so basic and rudimental. It's just two bits of wood. The constructors, right? The constructors nailed the creator to the boards for everyone to see. And everyone went, oh, this is not unusual at all. Well, when in Rome, basically Jesus just went around saying, come on, please consider. Oh, no, not really. And maybe it was more like, don't. No, come on. Actually, I'm not disgusted. I'm not angry. I'm not disappointed. But I'm saying, this is not on, right? And I am one man doing the work of my Father, and there are other people which are kind of getting it, yeah. And this is why we're having to travel around in a team to teach you and show you these things. But in all honesty, I already know that I've failed because the end is coming for me. And I'm not running around in haste. I'm just chilling. I'm just passing through like a satin sheet whose hem blesses everything it comes into contact with. Like a ghost before a ghost. And so he carried his own cross. Then the Romans made him. Then they hung him up for decoration, to flex their power muscles, to keep the people in fear, toxic respect. Yeah, well, God sent someone, and look what we've done. Ha, ha, ha. Now, get back in your holes. And Jesus said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they have done. He was basically saying, look, the Bible hasn't been invented yet, so these people, quite rudimental consciousness, cavemen with good vocabulary. And so, Jesus died, then came back, but never left. Who was and is and always will be, right? So, God played a trick on everyone, right? Because God is in everything. It's not God versus the devil. It's DJ God versus MC Satan. Yeah, it is. It's two sides of the same coin. And obviously you're not supposed to hate God or worship the devil. But you're really not supposed to hate the devil either. That's what the devil wants. And you're really not supposed to worship God, like, as in a separate entity, and go around polarizing everything and categorize your experience. Right, well, that's not godly. That's not... All right, let's go towards that godly object. Excuse me, can you help me? Well, it depends. Are you religious? Do you like the same mythological egregore as I do? Because my book might tell me that I'm not allowed to help you. Or can you tell me about your private activities that you get up to in your own personal time, please? Yeah? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to help you because my keen judgment tells me that you are actually bound for hell. And that's not my business. Go out into the world and preach the gospel to all nations. Every man, every woman deserves to hear the good news that Christ is alive, that Christ is King. That is not a worrisome thing. Just because we're used to bending the knee to forces outside of ourselves that have caused us great harm, it does not mean that getting down on your knee, pledging allegiance to something, is a bad thing. And so 40 years trod this earth, looking for something, belonging, purpose. I never knew what I wanted to do. And I'm so glad, because all I wanted to do was be and experience and become. I have become. I have been reborn. I am a new man. My heart is made of flesh. And I'm here to be love and be as love, and to receive love in return. The world is going through a massive trial by fire because God promised that God would never flood the earth again. And fire is not wet. It's harsh and dry and unforgiving because it's necessary. And what remains after the great purging? Everything pure, everything good. Heaven on earth